and some are bigger than others, and some of it's because it can do more, and some of it's just whatever the department purchased at the time or the budget allocation. They're all pretty sophisticated robots, and the reason to use two, obviously, is you can see more area with the cameras. You can use two to manipulate something better. You have more eyes. You have more capabilities. And whenever you're doing something remotely, it always helps you to have more of them. So no, it's a great tool. We've used them a lot. At ATF, the FBI uses them. The police bomb squads and tactical teams. So we've used them on barricaded subjects. When someone's barricaded in their house, to send the robot up and to talk to them through the microphone or deliver something. So they're extremely useful tools. So they take their time. Once we're in this kind of set piece right here, Richard, there's no hurry. The on-scene commanders now, they don't have to rush. They've got the speed is in the part of the investigation that Clinton, you were talking about. The speed is the white collar side. That is where all the speed is in this case, and that's going on in the Joint Terrorism Task Force with the agents, checking their intelligence sources. They're working all this stuff real heavy that we don't see on the camera. But what we see here is kind of a slow, methodical work, toward rendering any device that might be there safe, seeing if there's any other ammo, bombs, pipe bombs, inside the vehicles or so forth.
Clint, talk about that speed. What's happening that's not on the camera right now? It seems to be very deliberate. We're watching the robots. At least we were a little bit earlier. We see the control vans there. This could be a bit of time here. What's happening behind the scenes that's not on these pictures, not in this video that we've got right now? Clint Van Zandt, are you with us?
Yes.
Clint, what are we seeing what is happening that we are not seeing in this video right now? Jim was just talking about the speed of those behind the scenes now working to figure out what is happening. Give us a sense of what that is.
Well, the FBI, ATF, as Jim suggests, the members of the Joint Terrorism Task Force, they're going to be not only confirming the identities of the two shooters that are now dead, but they're going to be creating kind of a wiring diagram. They're going to start taking they'll first link these two individuals together, and then they'll do a linkage analysis to try to identify who else they were in contact with, either by their cell phones, by internet connections, by neighbors, something like this, and they will expand that wiring diagram more and more. And I tell you, there are a lot of people that are working Sunday night right now because they're moving very quickly to find people, interview them before, perhaps if there's anyone else involved, before they could leave the area, make a run for it. We want to find out who is involved, who contributed to this, and is there any other second shoe to drop? Is there a second activity that could be planned? You don't want to be caught waiting for that to happen. You want to be very proactive, and I think that's what the investigators are doing right now.
That's interesting there, Clint. You're talking about that wiring. Are they all in a room potentially on a whiteboard, drawing those lines out, where they might connect, what leads from one to another? What is the yay? What's the nay? Is that really the process potentially?
Well, that's one of the things that years ago when federal agencies created the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and they're able to tap into not only all the federal agencies, to include the CIA, NSA, and agencies like that, but also local police and authorities, so they can pull all of this together. So the Joint Terrorism Task Force, many times they do meet within FBI facilities, but they can meet and start to pull all this in. But know that the Garland Police Department and a number of agencies will be conducting their own investigations based upon the information they have, and then they'll be pooling this. There's going to be kind of a synergy center where all this information comes in, and then leads will be generated out of. There were the old days where everybody had to come in and you had to talk and you had to write things out on 3x5 cards and where you were going next. Now everything is wired together. This will be one major investigation. It'll be under a code name, perhaps, but every investigative agent or officer will have access to this information that will be kept in a large database, and it'll facilitate much faster. In essence, if I come up with a name and Jim comes up with a name, there's no need for both of us independently to go out and find this person and talk to. Once that information is pooled, we can say, okay, fine, we've talked to him, let's move on again. You've got a lot of people right now available for an investigation like this. You want to make sure you make the very best use of them possible. And when it's going to be daylight soon, and law enforcement wants to make sure this investigation is moving on before the first light of day.
As the cliche goes, just like in the movies or just like on TV is what they are doing. They've got the power of technology as they're trying to coordinate all these pieces of information from various sources. And then, of course, you have various organizations processing that information and then coming back together to bring their collective intellectual firepower together to figure out what has happened and try to prevent what may happen. Top of the hour at the moment, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. local, Garland, Texas. Breaking news this hour from MSNBC. What has happened, what we believe to have happened in the last 4 hours, is that during an exhibit and a cartoon and illustration contest in Garland, Texas, of depictions of the Prophet Muhammad, that two suspects approached the center where this group was holding the event, shot at a security officer. Then, in response, Garland police shoot at the two alleged suspects, and then they die. And that is what we understand right now. KXAS has been our affiliate in the area providing us information. Let's go to what they are broadcasting now live for a moment. Take a listen.